he's just really blown everything out of the water and said, we ain't here to mess around. And that's what you got to love about it. But we're loading into the match now, and you would have seen and you would have guessed who is actually competing. And now, if my glasses serve me right, yes, the old man is coming back. It is Bulba on the Ash, followed by Bam on the Atom, as you would have seen him last week, and Joy on the Lori, and Maya on the Feng. They all played last week, other than Bulba. He is making his grand return. So there you go, big man. You know, hopefully you can definitely pull something out of the hat, and we can see some absolutely crazy gameplay. But for Killer, they're up against X-Tap. Now, you know, there's been some heat between these players, you know, so X-Tap and Bulba, a long rivalry there, and we're going to be able to see it throughout the gameplay, you know, X-Tap being the main killer guy for Source, you know, as you would assume, you know, it's basically the team he's been on for ages. It is his team. He is the team captain. You know, he's well renowned on the Blight, so now loading in this match over at the one side. We're going to be taking these rushes all the way down to the bottom side very nicely. Doing a little bit of a ping check real quickly just to see where we're at, and we seem to like what we're seeing. So just rotating all the way down to the shack. We are going to catch Bam and Maya out over at these check spots here. Who's he going to end up chasing first? This is a predicament if I've ever seen one, and we're going to commit chase onto Maya right off the rip, who's going to be using this window, but opting to fake it and go for the pallet drop instead. Some very nice micro work from the side of her. She's going to be going around the long side of May now. Again, just doing another little bit of a reset ping check. Not too sure what that was. A little bit of a pause. Confused a little bit on my end as well, but I'm going to continue on the chase all the way down to the 5 side of the map, and once again, kind of just sticking around the L wall. We are going to be seeing the retired old man Bulba play this fill pallet here over at 6, but getting hit through it, unfortunately. A little bit of ping coming in there, hot man, but he's just going to be dropping that pallet and go all the way down to, I do believe this is deep 6, and just going down around this rock. I mean, mighty unfortunate stuff here. Not the start you want from CatJam, Tavi.
Yeah, I agree, Hunter. That was a beautiful start. I mean, 2 survivors got caught out at Shack, but they managed to keep the deliverance safe. So, I mean, Mr. Retired Old Man there on the Ash is at least got potential to have anti-tunnel. So, even though that first hook, like, was relatively what we could call in the business, a 2-tap. Thanks to Dan DVD for that. Yeah, X-Tap still has to, you know, spread out, and I actually don't know what I don't know what's happened to his net, because I've never really seen him do the pausing there. Like, he paused right after Shack Pallet, he paused around the LT wall, so that's perhaps something that can be resolved later on, whether that be a technical issue or a or just like a playstyle thing, which I find very unlikely. Anyway, unhook happens. We do catch a free little tag onto Joy here on the lorry, who is presumably got the unhook, but Ash has already reset. Look at that, Bulba is already back into the full health state and gets to light the round, but can only make the L wall and just takes a 2 rush tag there. So this is perhaps going to be a fast turn out thanks to that 2 rush, but Bulba does have a good amount of power here, but he just opts the W away and just goes down. So yeah, really good blind gameplay by X-Tap here, but at least the first gen does pop in the background. So I don't know, X-Tap Blight, I feel like is one of the only people in the world, well, actually only one of the only SEA players in the world that could rival what I think and my high opinion of Gunther's Blight, because last time they faced off, Hunter, it was 4K versus 4 stage, actually 4K4 generators versus 4 stages. So Blight's, sorry, not Blight, X-Tap, I think he's definitely got a reputation for himself, but I honestly think Hunter and CatJam, they pulled out the big guns here, and they've gotten quite big rewards here. Look at this, like, the tunnel out is happening at 3 gens, Hunter. I think that is a very good work here from CatJam.
Yeah, definitely. And on the side of our refs, I mean, we're hearing that X-Tap's having a little bit of troubles with his PC, some frame rate issues from what we're seeing, but he is a little too far into the game to ever go for any type of reset, and that's why it's quite important to be able to test your game before you get loading in, guys. I mean, I know this game likes to kind of mess about every now and again, but as long as you have sufficient evidence, obviously in the case of frame rate drop, you definitely want to be recording your gameplay to be able to, I know that does actually, funny enough, kind of facilitate 4 dropped frames, but you want to have some sort of evidence to provide for it, because the moment that you don't provide it, you're just going to get minus penalty. And I don't know. It's not what you want to see. So, nevertheless, he is doing pretty good for what it is worth. Even though CatJam do have some good gen pressure, and in the background we have 2 injured survivors on the board. We have caught out this gen over at 5 now, taking the eruption. Up goes the weasel and call a Brian kick. And like I said before, this is kind of typically what you would see in a blight set. These kind of perks set up. Bam playing very nicely around this T-Wall, this LNT. Doesn't really have much to go on here. See the reset happen on in the background, so no gen progress from what we're seeing, but Bam going to be going down. Yeah, it's such an early tunnel out for Bulba. It's really unfortunate for the side of CatJam. I mean, they can pull this back to a 4K1, but they're going to have some absolutely crack chases if they're going to be able to really get out of this position. We're going to be taking a hook over at 6 and now rushing instantly all the way down to the bottom side where we presume the other generators are being worked. We do have Pop and Eruption back out of disposal as soon as we are able to get back on a generator. And there happens to be one over here at 9 where we're going to actually wait for the eruption and do still have access to Pop Goes the Weasel. Some very nice work on the side of our killer. Just waiting for that to come into effect, and bam, there it is, applied right back onto 10, 9, wherever the hell that is. Maybe around the 10 area, as this is 9 where he's currently standing. And going to be going all the way down back to Bam, who is our Deliverance player, as we would have seen in the background. Oh no, the second win, sorry, my bad. Came in clutch, so who is that? Oh, it is Joy at the moment. Okay, so interesting. Taking it really slow from the side of the survivors. I do like this. You know, they're all healthy now, so we definitely can. It definitely can facilitate for a better game on the side of our survivors. As you know, it was a little bit of an early tunnel out, but they're holding up the gen pressure really well. And unfortunately, Joy just getting caught out in 11 there, Tavi, and that's just not what you need.
What is that pre-sim? Look, I don't have the game sense of some of these players, so like a lot of these plays just look so, you know, they look like magic to me. And Xtap there just gets a free tag onto Joy. We're just probably going to use the medkit charges, I would assume, from Joy, given the medkit in hand. But that's still, again, free time for Xtap. Just buys a good amount of COD value there. And he's just going to take a chase around 3. I feel like... Yeah, you're saying it's an early tunnel out. I would agree. 3 gens is probably not ideal. Like you'd be looking at, since this map Gas Haven is like really large, you'd be looking at tunnel out maybe 2 or 1. But at the same time, again, I'm always gonna glaze Mr. Xtap here because getting any kind of you know, consistent results on every single killer, and this is one of his mains, by the way, is no easy feat. He's got consistent 4Ks, like, over and over again, at least from what I've seen over the past couple of months, even years. So, yeah, really, really good stuff. CatJam do pop a gen, though. That is going to be Shaq popping, so this is going to be 4K2 at the minimum for them, which I still think is a pretty good result. And Xtap is going to do a little bit of rare thing and completely flunk a blink, sorry, not a blink, a rush there just to get the eruption on the generator. So I find this still quite interesting because I saw Bulba, he had life, so I'm assuming that the fact that the DS wasn't on him means that, oh my god, okay, this is something not good, but so the fact that DS was not on him means that we have a lot of good anti-tunnel perks left in the game. And look at that, we do have Bam on the DS and Dead Hard, so there is still a lot of resources and second chance perks available for survivors here, Hunter, and I would not count them out of getting at least another generator dump, even though it looks unlikely. Again, like, they just get the full reset in the background, so really, really good stuff, I'd say, from CatJam. They're just keeping this close here in this first set, and Xtap actually does, again, do a bit of a miss bump there, and I would assume this pallet, yeah, is not going to be safe on baiting. So Mayor takes a tag, and Xtap will have to figure out what to do, because, yeah, look at this, again, the second chance perks, Hunter, they're coming into effect. There's some of the best second chance perks in the game, and he needs to watch his step very, very carefully, in my opinion.
No, 100%. I mean, you can't afford mistakes on either sides in such a crucial stage of the match. This is a 3v1 and 2 generators remaining, and with this much progress over at 5, anything could really happen. I mean, we're really looking at a stalemate here of some sort, unless we're able to really take the game back into the hands of either our survivor or our killer. Bam going to be trying to do a little bit of a crouch take over of this filler pallet over at 6, but not quite working out in his favor. He's going to be eating the tag, and once again, everybody's injured. But like you said, we saw Deli actually take into effect earlier onto Joy. So, yeah, these second chance perks are really allowing the survivors to do a little bit of a reset here. And Like as I say that, we do see Maya turn into a full health state over in the background. If you have been paying attention to our avatars, and we're not really being able to find Bam here. He has been here, as we do see the blood pools over at this L&T. Going to be playing these check spots, and a little bit slow on the reaction times is going to spell a death onto Bam, unfortunately not being able to use the Bridgestone tires to kind of run away from that. So going to be taking the pick onto him and another hook, and I would say that the game is slightly fell into X-Tap's favor if he is able to pick up onto the fact that there is some gen pressure over at 10, as we did see Maya hop back on it. But, you know, Joy able to reset herself over at somewhere deep inside the map, so I have been also notified that the frame rate issues on the side of X-Tap are resolved, so that's a good thing to note. But nevertheless, continuing on the chase onto Maya here, who is just kind of trying to stay out of line of sight, but getting caught out now, taking another tag, and she's going to be forced all the way to the backside of main, where X-Tap isn't going to want any of that, and now Joy just kind of forced to go for the pull here. She's going to eat a tag for it, but this is going to be decisive strike in the game. So do we opt to chase Bam? No. And the reason being, obviously, is because we anticipate on the side of X-Tap. But nevertheless, it is second win coming into effect. So definitely some strong value from the builds here. And Joy's just going to be going down at this T and L, unfortunately, just getting mind-gamed over at that T. But able to make as much distance as you can from 10. We do know that May is sitting 10 as the Caller Brine procs are happening in the background. So she is going to try and play check spot over at this Jungle Gym pallet here. She's playing it very nicely, as she hasn't bolted yet, and we can hear her via the grunts of pain. She is kind of just standing there, so very nice stuff from her to be able to rotate all the way down to bottom 11 and try to break line of sight, and does so ever so nicely, but being caught out ultimately in the end is going to spell another death onto her. And again, it's just the eventual spiral into just being back into the hands of X-Tap here. He's just playing very dominantly, very aggressive, and he's not really making any mistakes here. So he's really able to capitalize on every little slip-up that CatJam make. And it's not even to say that they're really slipping up at this point. They're actually still playing a fairly good game for what it's worth. It's just, yeah, X-Tap has not missed a single rush. He's been in the exact position that needs to be every single time. And it's just really forced CatJam into this position of, what the fuck do we do now? I mean, X-Tap now going back to hook, and he's going to be able to catch out one of these injured survivors, and with the micro that he has, he's going to be able to go for some nasty flicks or even just some well-needed downs just normally. And we do see the reset and the quick reset, the unhook and the quick reset happen in the background onto Maya via Joy. So she's going to be on a full health state, which is going to help CatJam out a fair bit. Whether we go back onto the reset onto Joy, I'm not too sure. We might be able to go for the split and go for the unhook, one on Gen, one on the unhook. And I'm going to say it's what we were doing, but Joy just kind of being caught out here at 10, not really being able to decipher the macro decisions, as Bam is gone from the trial, and X-Tap going all the way back down to 10 very hungrily. And we do have a little bit of a spectator bug at the moment, so not able to tell really where our killer is. I do presume somewhere around the locus here, as we are just kind of looking into thin air, and we've... Oh, no way he checks that. Check him, PC. Tavi, what's happening?
But X-Tap is just playing out of his mind here. Just secures the third hook, kind of. Well, he secures Maya, and I don't know. Again, like I would agree. We've had when I've been on the desk, I've had 2 killers successfully pull out survivors from a locker, and that first one was in a doctor set, so that one was amazing to watch with old mate there as well as my partner. But this one, X-Tap, I don't know, he just has the nerve to check a locker and in a random jungle gym near a generator. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me, but he's definitely got a lot more reasoning behind it than what I think. As Joy does take the final chase here, I don't really have anything to work with, unfortunately. So we'll be going down. I think it was a really, really clinical game from X-Tap. I don't know really what our survivors could have been doing better. The chases did seem a little bit short, so perhaps maybe could play a little bit less aggressive. Perhaps stealth a little bit more to try and prevent those free tags from coming through. But apart from that, again, I don't really know what could have gone better for the survivors, because I feel like their gen pressure was very, very solid throughout the entire. This 4K1's got very close to the same build. They actually swapped out the pop for the Dying Light, which is very, very interesting. But teams like Survivors are not going to be found here. We do find a bit of scratch marks, so yeah, Bam is going to be able to start this first chase, which is very important. I feel like on the Blight set, you need to go for something pretty special. Why not get a first chase off real quick, as he does go for two little mistakes, I would say, two little bumps that didn't really result in anything, as Alexandre is going to just be forced to drop the track pallet here. Actually does get blinded this Bam, so very interesting. Track pallet goes down though, and seems like Alexandre still finds safety on the edge map. Bam's trying to get the injury as fast as possible with the rushes, but Alexandre again is just still managing to keep his distance really well. That's the first tag coming through though. There's two rushes for Bam to secure that. And Alexandre is, again, nowhere near main, so Hunter, I know that we've all been, or we all know that the main building is really strong. I was talking about it with Jams last week, but again, Alexandre is nowhere near the main building, and Bam is going to be forced to break everything on the bot side instead, which might make it a bit of an issue if Alexandre does somehow make the main building, but he goes down. That's the first gen probably. Oh my god. Okay, well, Bam has got a real task on his hands, because that first gen popping, that is a lot faster than the first run. So, yeah, Alexandre's put on a really good first chase here, and Source have set themselves up to take this first set of it. Oh my god, wow. And Bam, he's on fire, I'd say. Does find Gastrix.
No, yeah, he did. I mean, it's just a kind of stock standard 2-1 split, really, on the generators, and it's being able to make that pallet as well on the side of Gastrix, able to slap it in Bam's face, and even on ping, it's going to be running away from that. Yeah, I mean, with so much gen pressure in the background, he can't really afford to play defensive like this, as the next generator in the trial has procced, sorry. So, as it currently stands, I mean, well, you can't. We are at the win con now. If we are to win the game on the side of Bam, you have to 4K everyone right now. You can't allow another generator pop. Otherwise, you're at a 4K2 Tycon, and we do see the trade come in hot from the side of Gastrix. Is Alexandre able to make enough time to give that deli off? And we're able to make that pallet at the last second. And we've just kind of slapped Alexandre. He's going to be able to go all the way back down to the main side of the building, and I'm going to be taking this hook onto Gastrix here. Just out in the open. Who does have medkit in hand, so, you know, definitely should be the deli player. I mean, unless we're really seeing... yeah, it is. Unless we're seeing what we saw, like, you know, back in the Synergy game where the medkit wasn't the deli player and we were bamboozled, but... no, it's pretty conventional. We do see another generator proc in the background, and with this one so close to being done as well, not so close to being done, it is around the 30%, 20% mark. We are going to be taking our kick onto that. We're at the Tycon. We can't win the set, but we can definitely pull it back to being a tie if we are able to down and secure everybody right now. But in all honesty, it's looking pretty dicey and unlikely for our killer here. We do manage to spot out Frozen, just kind of stealthing around this generator now, running to the side of main, trying to do a little bit of pre-fake jiggy, but not quite working out in his favor, and now being forced over into the 11 side of the map. But we're not going to chase him on the side of Bam. We want our tunnel out as soon as we can. So we do see some scratch marks and blood pools heading over into the central side of the map, where we have spotted out Gastrix once more, who is our deli player. He wasn't unhooked from anybody else in the trial. He is going to be able to make all the way down to the death spot over at 1, as he has thrown that filler pallet, just being able to make as much distance as he can. But he is going to be having this imminent down come in super, super hot. Now it's going to be another hook onto him for Bam as well. So Bam can take this game back into his hands, but he really can't afford to make any mistakes at the moment. And just like I said, with so much pressure around the map, everybody being healthy at the moment, I just don't see a world where he really pulls it back. I mean, I hate to say like that, sound like that Debbie Downer, but like, in all honesty, it's just like, what do you do? I mean, look at how close these generators are. He can hold it, I guess. I mean, if he's able to really make sure that 11 isn't going to be popped like underneath his nose, or even this 5 generator just has like 3 to 4 pistons just absolutely pumping right now. We're going to be taking the kick onto that. Yeah, maybe we're missing Pop Goes the Weasel, not too sure, but we are going to be pre-dropping that pallet on the side of Alexandre, who will be taking chase once more over the 6th side of the map. can only presume that there'll be some sort of double going on in the background as we are committing this chase here. Strack's got the second wind in hand too. So this would be mighty unfortunate for our killer here, Bam. We're going to be taking a tag on the side of Alexandre, running all the way down to 3 with Overcome at our disposal. We're whiffing thin air on the side of Bam, and that generator in the background is really close to being progressed to proc now. And Alexandre ultimately going down. That is the eruption proc onto 5, but like clockwork, 11 will be popping, and that will be the set win.
Oh my god.
Nah, not to rub it in. That's absolutely criminal. And they're definitely looking in a good position to really pull some outs here. Alexandre being able to make as much distance as he can back into 2. No filler pallet to work with here, but a whole bunch of LOS and Jiggy. We've completely lost him on the side of Bam. That's absolutely crazy. We've opted to chase Stracked all the way down at 5. So if we can last a little bit longer, I'd say we even get that generator over down, like, what, 9 done, Tavi?
I'm pretty sure 9's popping, and there it goes. There's the win condition for Source. Look at that beautiful flashlight stave from Strack. I don't think you'll see anybody else go for such a daring play other than this man here. I don't know. Strack, I think, is really put himself out there and played really confidently, I'd say, on like every set. He's got his own style of playing. Is like, come chase me if you dare, and most of the time, most killers will. If they do chase him, it's a mistake because Strack is such a demon on Survivor. They do see him go down, but of course it's already at the win condition, so it doesn't really matter. Source have really done so well on this blood set. They've played this pretty clinical. Bam, I guess, has missed just a handful of rushes, but there's not really anything he could have done given the state of that first chases. He does actually take a bit of a detour and take a tag onto Frozen. Strack gets unhooked with the second win in the background, so broken for 24 seconds. He's going to be healed up very soon. And also with light, so he should be pretty safe here in this 5 area. And Source again, they've completely reset all the pressure here. And Bam's trying to look for the down. It does actually get it. Strack not being able to get the second win off means that off the next hook, he will have the second win yet again available. So I don't know though, because Source might not actually decide to unhook him if the generator pops in the background, but seems like Strack is not close enough, and Strack will just have to hang on the hook for the time being. So nice little flick there from Bam. Actually, I guess I was wrong. Strack maybe second wind has changed and second wind doesn't activate off hook now, or perhaps some other interaction happened, but Strack is not gonna have second wind off hook. He does get unhooked in the background, and Bam is gonna have, I believe that would be the 6th stage of the game, and does find Gestrix, who is a potential tunnel out, so could definitely still get a good amount of stages here. Oh, Strack just gets healed in the background. It's very nice. Bam's still doing a pretty good job. That's, I believe, the 7th stage and the first death coming through from him as Gestrix goes down, and it seems like the generators aren't too contested by the survivors. Of course I say that, and then 5 is going to pop in my face, but given Caster's Curse and Murphy's Law, perhaps that won't happen. So we do see 5 is actually completely 0, so I guess they've been focusing their efforts elsewhere. But yeah, Bam secures the first kill, and Source is going to start this 3v1 out with 3 healthy survivors. So still really nice. I think CatJam did have a bit of a disadvantage in the last trial, Hunter. I think they did start the 3v1 with like 2 injuries, and they still managed to get an additional generator done. So I would not be surprised if Source can meet something similar. Frozen's gonna get chased, so I believe it's the last question of the trial. So it's still a nice result for Bam securing this down. 10 stages, I'd say, is very solid. But Bam is not actually chasing the threshold. He wants the 4K, Hunter. He wants the 4K. He's not satisfied with just 10 stages.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, why would you be? I mean, you see this generator pumping me over here at 5, and not really being able to see this stealthing survivor working on it at the moment. Bam's just gonna opt to go on gen patrol at this point. So this very moment, I mean, yeah, I do agree with you. I mean, CatJam had the harder game, harder start at least, and I think the game's kind of falling back into the hands of Bam at the moment, especially if he's able to get this down onto Frozen, but Frozen playing nicely around this window here. We're going to be trying to do a little bit of an FOV tech, but not quite working out in our favor, and that's going to be the down onto Frozen and another hook stage there. So just really depending on what the survivors are doing at this point. Can we hold it on the side of Bam? And I think we can, unless we're really pumping out that 5 generator, like even through Eruption, and it's close enough. I don't really see a world where the survivors actually really escape this. And gonna be taking that tag onto Stract now. Gonna be continuing the tunnel out onto Frozen. So I'm gonna opt to go all the way down to the edge map 6, and we're gonna be using this window at the LNT. Oh, no, sorry, not the LNT, but the Z-Ball, and he's just teabagged dead-hearted. This guy, absolutely crazy. You can only anticipate this person's decisive strike as well. They are going to be forcing Locker though and playing the game a little bit slower. I'm not going to be going for any of that nonsense there. That was patched a long time ago. Stract, what the hell are you doing, man? But maybe playing a little bit aggressive here to get that generator over at 5 done on the side of Alexandre. If not, I'm not too sure what's happening right now. And we've got the unhook on the side of Stract, but he's going to be going down. And yeah, the debate worked. I mean, look at that. Blinded the bro and got the gen in the background procced. And that's going to be a total of 8 stages at the moment. So is Bam still going to be able to 4K from this? And it's looking extremely unlikely at the moment, as we do have 2 survivors just kind of split apart. We do have 1 healthy, 1 injured, so if we're able to get a quick tap onto Frozen, maybe we can slug and go for the exit gates, but I don't see that happening. And I think I saw ever so slightly that gate all the way down at 5 is being worked with 1 to 2 red lights, and it has opened. Not too sure if both survivors are there as it currently stands, but we do have Alexandre ready to exit the trial. So he will be leaving, and we will be getting outs this match. That's absolutely crazy. I did moments ago just say that I didn't see a world where, the survivors really out this, and just...
Okay, too, on Coal Tower. So that was very incredible from him. But, of course, this time they're setting the win con as survivor first. So perhaps we'll see something completely different here. As Bam is going to load in. I actually don't know what the meta is on Spirit anymore, Hunter. I don't know if... full of aggression is going to be the play here on Spirit. I did see Sloppy last week from Maya, and I think it did work out pretty well for her. But seems like Bam is going to agree with Maya, well, his teammates' decision there. So we do load in on this bot side. Do you see scout out the generators? You did see 11 and 12 somewhat close, but I don't think there's anything else. But it's still not finding anyone at this start around the generators. So good stuff for our survivors. They managed to stealth away in typical SEA fashion.
Curse.
And just as I say that, yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'm going like 50-50 for like Caster's Curse sometimes. Like that generator didn't pop at 5, but then it did later on, and now Frozen's gonna get caught out with Spin Burst here. It does have a lot of resources to work with, by the way. Bam is gonna be perhaps forced to break the Stronghold Gem. It is very strong, even on ping, and Frozen's just gonna jiggy away. That's so much fixated value coming in from Frozen. He might attack here, but I think the ping is a little bit too good. But he's just taking the long road around. So yeah, good chase from Frozen to start this off is just kind of like forcing out the M1 and forcing the Spirit to walk, which is really, really solid. And he's going to go down potentially just at this edge map here. He's already used Exhaustion, so not really much to play with, as we do find the first down here in this Deep 6 side. I think it's Deep 6, correct me if my math is wrong, maybe it's Deep 12, but
Deep 12, good
yeah, so my bad. My clock's off today, as you can tell from when I woke up. But yeah, they get the first gen done, just to say that. It wasn't Shaq though, so a little bit unfortunate there, but still great stuff for Source Hunter.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they get a gen pop out as a result of it, in any instance. That's just good all around, and I think they're going for a 2-1 split again at the moment. Do see the pull happening on in the background onto Frozen. Not really much to go on here, as he is hooked into Deep 12, and we're going to be cut off by Bam. He's going to be going straight back to the hook and taking that endurance tag on the side of Frozen. They're going to try to run all the way down to the shack and get that shack pallet dropped, but there's going to be no FTP of any sort coming in, I don't believe, as we are in the mending state. We are going to be taking that tag onto Strax, so that's going to facilitate the fact even more. He has Medkit in hand as well, but no deliverance because it is tier 2. And now we are taking this chase onto back onto Frozen, sorry. He's ran all the way down to Deep 6, where there is some gen progress at the moment, so I'm not too sure what the call was here. Maybe a 3 split and someone's just willing to give up their generator. So I don't really know what's happening on in the background here. If we're getting a flick click quick flick around at what the Survivors are doing. So we do have some gen regression over at 5, and we do have some more over at 11. So yeah, we were 3-splitting. I mean, and Gestrix was willingly able to give up that 6 generator to make a death location for Frozen. And I think now they're just going to play very last moment at this point, at this very moment. So now Bam's just going to be rotating all the way back down to this 5 generator, getting the eruption onto it, but I'm not too sure it's really going to do much, as that is fairly close to popping. And Bam playing, oh, it's going to pop right in front of his face. Mighty unfortunate stuff. Alexandre able to really get away with that one scot-free. Oh, the FTP in the background onto Frozen, and we've reset the tunnel out on their last hook stage. We don't even want to be chasing Gestrix at the moment. Bam's going to have some serious work to do here, but he has caught the tunnel out once more. That pre-drop of that Shack Pallet is going to be the fattest pre-drop I've ever seen. And now he's going to make distance all the way down to 5 and potentially even deep 6 once more. Bam knows it and is going to opt to go for his freshest now. So I don't necessarily hate this idea. You know, he's playing more for the far future type stuff, and he is going to be chasing Alexandre here, which, in all honesty, after that FTP happened, probably should have done a little bit earlier. But I mean, yeah, again, maybe if we were able to get that quick tag onto Frozen beforehand, it could have spelt trouble for our Survivors, but they're just playing very well here. And we've just almost kind of lost him over at that tile over a deep 6. We're going to be slapping the pallet into Bam's face once more on the side of Alexandre. He's going to be going all the way down to deep 6, using this T-Wall. No, we're chasing Gestrix now. What is happening? Why are we switching targets so often? There's 2 generators left in the trial, and we are winning those 50s on the side of Gestrix. These Survivors are playing absolutely out of their mind right now. But we're going to opt to go for a corner 6 death spot here on the side of Alexandre. Not really much you can run into after really greeting for that generator over at deep 6. I don't really know why he was doing that, but you know, especially injured. I mean, I would understand more so if he was healthy, but that's just a down and pain res proc back onto this generator over at 6, and you know, Bam's able to kind of recollect the game a little bit more. So it just really depends what the Survivors are doing right now that are really put forth an idea of what's going to happen in the late game, as it is kind of late game at the moment, as 2 generators. Well, I guess you could call this mid game, but more or less mid to late game, and Bam just kind of stuck at what to do here. I mean, we do have scratch marks following over into 11. We're not going to want to chase Gestrix, I don't think. And we have this generator progressing all the way over at 1, 2. And we're opting to go for maybe a tunnel out onto Alexandre, so reset the tunnel out here, Tavia. What do you think's the best case scenario here for our killer? I guess, and for our Survivors as
well. Caster's Curse strikes again, as we do see Frozen disconnect, most likely from a technical issue. That is a real kicker for Saucia, because they were off to an incredible game. Now, after the disconnect has occurred, I am going to say that Source can hope for perhaps a 4K0. Previously, they were maybe looking for 7 stages or 9 stages, but now Frozen is as if he never existed because of the disconnect on the generator. Now, tides have kind of shifted here. I'm sure, again, that is going to hit Source quite, like mentally, quite hard. But they're still, of course, going to play their best. I think they could, again, definitely go for a 4K0, considering this gen is so close. Look at that, 2 generators so close. Like, Frozen might have actually been able to just sit the generator and complete it. But anyway, unhook does happen in the distance, but 1 generator remaining here, as Gestrix is going to perhaps take a tag. Yeah, I don't know. For like, sorry, you're talking about like switching tunnel outs, and I find that incredibly fabulous how Source had managed to transfer their tunnel out. They took a really big risk. They only had 1 available health state, and they transferred it onto the tunnel out. And I feel like, with 4 people, and I feel like again, that is a very big risk, because against a killer like Spirit, if Frozen does get injured quickly, that could spell huge amounts of trouble trying to get resets through the sloppy. But oh, Frozen with Death Hook, right? But still, he was still a survivor. But yeah, Frozen managed to get away, drop the Shack Pallet, get to safety, and then transfer the aggression onto a different survivor, which namely Alexandre for a bit, and then back to Geztrix for a bit. Anyway, then they get the full resets in the background, and they're looking off to a great game. Then Frozen disconnects, and yeah, suddenly the game is a lot closer than it should have been. So, yeah, now the Payverse is gonna come through and just like start regressing the generator here, which is really, really high progress. And yeah, I guess Source kind of have to really mentally reset there, because that is a really unfortunate turn of events. They should have had the exit gates powered by now, I think. But now they just have to deal with the hand that they're dealt. So Bam, I guess on the other hand, he still has to try and go for the best result, which I think 4K is still possible. It's going to be tough, but still possible. 4K1 I meant, still possible. You do see an unhook and a pre-stealth away. So yeah, it's all gonna come down to these critical chases now. Hunter, I think 4K1's still possible, because Stract is kind of out of shit. He's kind of out of resources and he should be going down. So it's down to again whether they can get that gen done in time.
I mean, what we're seeing right now is pretty much what the game would be is if we were to tunnel out Frozen. You know, infamous 3v1 at 1 gen remaining. Got some gen progression all the way down over at mid-10 here. Not a pain res hook. I don't even think that Stract is pain resable. But on the side of Bam, is he going to be able to go to 10 kind of anticipate that the survivors are working that generators? And he is. He's going to catch them out. This is both survivors working this mid-10 generator here too. So not only Geztrix we've interrupted here, I mean, can kind of guess that Alexandre's like rotated all the way back down for the save maybe, but again, we didn't manage to catch a glimpse of where he was. And yeah, he has, you know, he did sneak off into the distance and got it right underneath our noses. But we're just going to continue on the tunnel out on the side of Bam, kind of whipping thin air there as the haste status effect is currently in place on the side of Stract. Going down ultimately in the end as endurance status effect has run out, and that will be another hook onto Stract. No decisive strike going on here, no funny business. So another hook coming in hot, and that will be him out of the game. So yeah, mighty unfortunate stuff. For those who don't know, there's no reset involved here. Actually, wait, do they get this? Hang on. Before I say what I'm going to say, are they going to get this gen? No. They're playing for the 4K0 win con. Is there an adrenaline in this match? Oh, the kick. The no! Oh,
No.
wait, what the hell heck is, man? What the? Against Jinx. Wait. What are we doing? There was like no way he was actually going to sit the generator and try and pop it in Bam's face, but yeah, ultimately in the end, this is just 4K1 as we did play cat and mouse with the generator on the side of Geztrix. You know, he didn't want to get grabbed, but as soon as you're off that generator, you got to be careful that the killer doesn't option select and go for the kick on the generator instead, because then you're shit out of luck if that happens. But well played to Bam, 100% to kind of pick up on that. And I think there was even a con there to just be like, bro, just kick the gen. Like, you know, it's... Oh, now we're struggling to find Alexandre. But what I was touching up on before is like... I can't even remember now, but I think it was in correlation to it being a 3v1. It's just ultimately a lot harder for the survivors because of that DC. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, we can't restart the game if someone drops out this late into the game. I think it's after 90 seconds in particular. You just have to play without that survivor. Unless there's a server issue, an internal issue in DBD, then we can do something about it. But if it's one bro, it's an old man coming back, and it's Bulba. He's back in. So, yeah, I mean, similar lineup that you saw last set, but we've swapped Maya for Fizz. So no captain here. Interesting. But yeah, they're definitely capable of doing it. I mean, I have faith in all of CatJam, realistically. Very close with them. I have been on CatJam myself, so I guess a little bit of bias on my end, but, you know, can't really hope to say that. I still want Source to do good. I still would like if they would win. That's not just me being one-eyed and being, I want CatJam to win, but I would be lying to you guys if I said that, you know, it didn't really have a place in my heart to actually support CatJam and want them to win. So, you know, Putting that all aside, though, I feel like Tavi, you're in the same boat with Source as being one of their long-time supporters now. You know, coming in on a year and a year into a year and a bit now since you've been in the comp scene. So I know you can definitely understand where I'm coming from when talking about that, but nevertheless, loading into this match now on the side of X-Tap being our killer. Ooh. Troubles, team, troubles. I mean, definitely still doable being on the Wrecker's Yard. We've seen X-Tap, remember when he was playing Spirit, I do believe it was on Coal Tower 1. I think that's where the balancing resided when we were in DBD Indo. And if I do remember correctly, I was casting with you some of those sets at one point. So, you know,
Yes.
take us back, man. Take us back. Good times, good times. But nevertheless, I mean, maybe we can see some similar results here. I mean, this is still a pretty tough competition for X-Tap to really hold up, especially with a win con like 4K1 on the Spirit where it is outable being tier 2. Yeah, just that disconnect, like you said, I couldn't say it any better, really did hurt them. I keep trying to think of ways really around it to be like, oh yeah, but they could have done this better, but it ultimately just leads back into the fact that bro's gone from the game in one of the most vital spots of the game. Like, it's just mighty unfortunate, and it's just unfortunate that we can't really do anything about those type of things, but I mean, yeah, what can you do? Anyway, loading into this match now, we're going to be seeing our killer spawn all the way over at the bottom side, X-Tap, who will be loading in, doing a little bit of a ping check, and they're ready to go on the side of X-Tap now, going to be going all the way down to the middle of the map with our phase. Survivors playing ever so slightly passive, stealth-wise. Oh, we have spotted out Joy! That's absolutely crazy that we're swinging through the pallet on that as well. We do see someone cross over into the top side of the map like clockwork. We're opting to really commit this chase onto Joy, but she's vaulted on the other side of the window and we're able to catch her out. She's going to be running all the way down to deep 12. Going to have to try and use this filler pallet here. Oh, this hee ha ha Tayo. I don't like this RNG that we've got right now. And the pallet is on the side, not in the middle. We're going to be swinging into nothing on the side of X-Tap here. So Joy playing very nicely to kind of jiggy around this little filler. No, not even filler pallet. She's making that ball. That's absolutely crazy. And we've just whiffed onto the wood on the side of X-Tap, phasing in once more, but she's going to opt to go for death location as Torpos of chase time. So not necessarily the worst decision in the world. Probably could have lasted a little bit longer. I guess we'll never know, but she played it safe, so can't fault her in that regard. Now we're going to be going for a Pain Resonance hook over at 9, playing it a little bit greedy on the side of X-Tap, but I do believe he does make this by the skin of his teeth, and that will be happening there, so kind of resetting the game a little bit in the background. We have 2 generators progressing. We do have Deep 6, and we do have, Shallow 6, and we do have 7? Oh, okay. I did think that 5 was being worked there. Were we going for some sort of a 3 split, maybe? I'm not too sure if I caught that right, but we're going to be taking the kick onto the side of X-Tap, and we are going for the unhook on the side of our survivors. I do believe that this is Bulba going for this unhook here, and it does happen like clockwork. Getting hit and running into a little bit of a wall there, pre-dropping the pallet. He's going to be running all the way down to 12, nice and far from those progressed generators, as the death location would still be around 12. We do have this access to this dropped pallet here, but he's going to have to play sound mind game check spots, and unfortunately going down, but has made a pretty good death location. There is an eruption proc all the way down at 7. So now we're going to be taking this Pain Resonance hook and slowing the game down even more on the side of X-Tap, and he's looking pretty dominant here, you know, setting himself up for a good result. 3, 2, 1, and we have not gotten off the generator. I'm not too sure if the comm was coming in right there from the side of our survivors, but you know, Joy's now going to be doubling that gen injured, so if X-Tap's able to catch her off guard, that's going to spell trouble for our survivors, and he has caught sight of the generator that is being highly progressed. So we did go for a little bit of a 3 split, and oh, we've dead-hearted, and I'm not too sure if we faked it out on the side of X-Tap or if we just completely fumbled the bag there, but nevertheless, we do get the generator in the background progress, and we only need 3 more to go here, but Joy going down in the middle of 6. X-Tap's choosing to slug this as well, but the heal in the background coming in onto the retired old man, Bulba. So, we're committing this on the side of X-Tap onto Bam, who's going to be taking all the way over, chase all the way down to 7, where there is a active generator. Not really being able to do much of it. I just assumed that he's going to hop back on that. Fizz now playing aggressive for what seems to be a flashlight. Is this a Champion of Light play? It is! I did presume that's what happened as soon as we saw the scratch box go, and I thought I caught a glimpse of flashlight in hand, but very nice work on the side of X-Tap to kind of see what was going on there. Now Joy just kind of stuck over at the shallow 6 tower. Is going to opt to die as fast 6 as possible. We are going to probably go for a little bit of a reset over at 2 next to that generator that's being progressed, and ultimately dying on this pallet on the side of Joy, but we're not getting the pallet save on the side of Bam. Mighty unfortunate stuff there from their survivors, but where do you go from here, Tav?
Oh man, wow, a lot of things just happened in the past like 30 seconds. Bam's gonna take a tag, that's for sure though, which is unfortunate, but where do you go from here? I feel like if you CatJam, you kind of perhaps panicking a little bit. Like that was a really solid win condition to go off. Actually, XSAT plays the 50 and loses it, so that's just a free little gift there for Bam here on the TLs. But again, like if oh my gosh, he makes that window too, so he just gets away with his life. Like it was a really good start, and then I think Joyce just going down. Still, I don't think he's going down slow enough for like the 4K1 to be completely achieved here yet for CatJam. So it is still a bit of worries for them. Droid does not hit the dead hard this time. So they're just potentially just going to force us 3v1 for only one generator in compensation, which is, again, as I was saying before, it is a bit of a worry because yeah, look at this, the generators aren't as highly progressed as that previous trial. We're already in the 3v1, and not only this, Bam is injured, and also the Spirit is having a little bit of a nice time checking out the hook. So we do call that a spectator bug in our business. Except though, yeah, except though, takes a free tag into Fizz, and yeah, he's definitely got an advantage here, I'd say, thanks to Sloppy Butcher, but with pretty much every advantage in every business, advantages are temporary, you know. Like, you gotta make use of them before the other side acts and dissipates that advantage. So Xtap converts onto Bulba here and gets that down as well, just in this gen area. And Xtap is actually slugging this Hunter. He's slugging this. He's slugging this. He's going for the gens. He's trying to punish this, bro. Oh my god, this is crazy. I did not expect this to happen, but Bam's generator is nearly completed and is approaching the 100% mark, and I don't know if Xtap is completely aware of this. He gets there in time. No, he doesn't get in time. He doesn't stop the generator, and that is going to be a 4K1 tie condition for CatJam. Oh my gosh, that was one of the most close games of Dead by Daylight we've ever seen, and that was with Source having the disconnect, unfortunately. And I thought CatJam again had a really good comeback with like the downtimes coming through, but then they have that really sticky situation, and then Bam gets the gen done in time, Hunter. So it is going to be pushed to the third set.
They played it safe, going for the tie on their own pick. That's absolutely crazy, but ultimately, in the end, they were able to just narrowly get away with that. So we will be moving on to the tiebreaker set of Demogorgon on the Wreckers Yard, which would be interesting considering no exhaustions on Wreckers Yard and on ping. I have multiple conflicting opinions on this kind of gameplay when regarding Demogorgon, but we'll have to see how these guys go in that set now. That gen pop just kind of happened right underneath our noses. I mean, X-Tap was feeding for that 4K too, and I thought he was going to get it. You know, it was just really well done by CatJam, and you know, that was like a yeah, you'll be able to make sure you can get your votes in, and let's see actually who who would have actually got that set right. Oh, well, nobody would have got that set right because it was a tiebreaker, but I think that was more amongst one of the ones that were it's ever so slightly, maybe 2 votes in favor with CatJam. So the rest of it kind of being very heavily into Source's favor. But we're loading in now, and you know, on the lineup, like we had said, it is the returning lineup minus Fizz for Mercy, and then we do have X-Tap back on the killer. So you know, back to back, running it back to back, as Drake once said. But now loading in to this match, we see X-Tap small all the way over what seems to be 9, 10, yeah, around there. So Same map, different killer, different play style. You know, no exhaustions. I just can't fathom this. But you know, on a map like Wreckers Yard, it makes sense considering how many fillers there are around the map. You know, you have to hope for good RNG and no too many hee hee ha ha tars, as we like to put it, Tavi. But we are taking first chase onto I'm not too sure who this is, but we do see the scratch marks leading over to 5. It is our Lara Croft. It is Bam, who is just going to make distance all the way down to this pallet here over at 5. Playing it nicely. It is a short filler. Going to be pre-dropping it as well and running down the T side of it. So I'm going to be trying to break line of sight so we can't use the shred effectively and trying to dodge it. Crouch tech coming in, but we've baited on the side of X-Tap, and that's going to be a quick first tag onto the side of Bam. X-Tap's going to follow it up with another nice shred onto Shaq Pallet, and that's gone very early into the game, which is kind of how you have to play if you are to be able to make your death location, and I do presume that the survivors have called it out. The team has called it out to be on the top side of the map as the Uncorrupted is on the bottom side, and we are going to be taking that down onto Bam. Very nice and early. I mean, not a bad chase, not a good chase, but a decent chase in the end. Some 3-split action going on, but the pain resonance coming in onto the retired old man. And I think that his sixth sense, his oh, what do you call it? Reaction times aren't necessarily on par, as we have done a little bit of screaming action going on in the background. I'm not too sure if that was on him though. We did see him go off the generator, but it sounded like a woman's scream in the background. But nevertheless, we do see more scratch marks here over at the crane. Not too sure who this survivor is, and it is Laurie, who is Joy, just kind of looping the crane over at 11, but not opting to use it in die 11. So we're going to opt to greed for 10, and we are able to make that ever so nicely, but not making the window, getting a little too greedy. Should have played the long wall of Shaq, not the long wall of Shaq, but a little bit longer at Shaq. Went for the window vault. I don't think he would have made the shred if we had just maybe tried to reach the corner, but things have gone from okay to being a little bit into the favor of X-Tap. I cannot lie. But we do have a generator progress, and that is the first one propping in the background. But Bam going to be going down instantly. No access to any decisive strike or unbreakable or deliverance or dead hard or any exhaustion or any healing of the sort. So this is going to be an extremely rough set for these guys, as they are probably used to demo with exhaustions. Going to be rotating onto the side of Shaq and catching Bulba off guard, going for the slug pickup. But we do manage to get it on the side of our survivors. Joy is up and running and going to be opting to die all the way deep 6. Going to be trying to play these check spots at the window, but getting caught out in the end and going down once more. And we haven't gotten the unhook yet. This is pretty dire for our survivors, Tavi.
Yeah, oh my god. Demogorgon, our new Philip Odra mode for Season 4. Holy shit. That is incredible. How X-Tap is transferring the pressure. You know, Demogorgon, I'm gonna be truthful here. I'm not gonna lie, as I was trying to say. He's got the potential to, you know, get really low chase times, but the problem with the Demogorgon is you don't have the good mobility, and number one, X-Tap's getting the downs real fast, which allows him to teleport across the map. And yeah, he got a tag onto Bulba. Unfortunately, he's gonna miss the tunnel out kill onto Bam there with that shred, but Bam's playing this chase out well. This is what should have happened earlier, I think, in the demo chases, but I think perhaps a little bit caught off guard, and Bam is going to go down just like that. So, again, I feel like the demo chases, the reason why the exhaustions can be let go is just simply because the map Wrecker's Yard can just be understood to be strong enough, like have enough resources so the survivors can avoid getting too tapped and use the resources to just extend the chases. But X-Tap just, well, proved me wrong and gets the tunnel out at 3 generators, which, again, very much reminds me of the Philip Odra sets we've had on Dead Dog Salute in earlier season. So anyway, we're gonna have a kill at 3, and X-Tap has got an incredible situation here to go for a 4K. He does find blood as well, and Mr. Retired Old Man with the retired old hands, as I've told Gunther, as I've described Gunther once, but it's not Gunther. It is Bulba now. Just going down and giving away a free pain resonance and free hook stage for X-Tap to capitalize on. And yeah, look at this. The generators they're really not pumping that much at all. 50%, like sure 50%, but this, I feel like this tunnel out. There should have been more pressure for that, and um, just looking at the painters on the 60 gen makes me a little bit concerned of CatJam's pressure. I do have to say though, they do have a bit of leeway thanks to the pick of Bamboozle from Xtap, which I find very unusual. Perhaps again, perhaps it's just something that was taken out of um, perhaps just not really playing the set that much, not really being prepared for the tiebreaker perhaps, because again, I've never seen Bamboozle like on demo for like 50 trillion years, let's put in an estimate, but he's still doing a wonderful job with the 3 other perks here. Just look at that tap hunter, oh my god, that's disgusting.
To be able to jiggy around the trees and still get it as well. Just on the macro side, not really making any mistakes on the side of X-Tap. I mean, you can argue that it's fault from the survivors, but at the same time, he's just not making any errors that are going to cost him deal. I don't think he's missed a shred at all, in all honesty, but maybe I'm wrong. But we do see Mercy just kind of stealthing for the pool, unfortunately getting caught out. It's going to force her all the way down to 9. And we know we can commit this on the side of X-Tap at the cost of maybe one more generator, but we do see Bulba rotating and getting caught out, going for that save and not going to be able to do it. And now X-Tap has eyes on both survivors. We know Mercy's at Shaq injured. We know Bulba's all the way over at 10 healthy. And we do have Joy on the hook. And we can just kind of sit here and park the bus. Pittsburgh and Capuchungus laid back chilling in a MF lowrider, but I think, as like Bulba would like to put it, but we are gonna take chase onto someone since it's Bulba, who's over at mid-10, just getting tapped here at the pallet and just running, not tapped, but slapped rather. He's not getting tapped. He is lasting a little bit longer in this chase as he does have a full health state to work with, now rotating on the outside of Shaq and just gonna be able to make away with that. Not being able to get the pull onto our survivor Joy here from Mercy death. Unfortunately, I think we just probably should have stuck a generator at this point. It was kind of a lost cause considering that both survivors are now injured. Now Mercy just going to be taking one of the final chases in this game onto the Shack. Going to be trying to use the Cracker Blind, but the window is blocked. She's not able to vault it one more time. She's going to opt to die basement here. I'm not too sure what's happening on the end of Bulba at the moment, but this is going to be a down on the side of Mercy, and now we're going to slug this on the side of X-Tap because he wants the 4K3. He doesn't want no 4K2 business, and does he choose the right generator to teleport to? And he does, because there's a teleport right in front of 6. Bulba's going to go for the last chase of the trial here and ultimately make nothing and go down. Oh, mighty unfortunate stuff from the side of CatJam. A 4K3 on the side of Source. Team Thailand, am I right, Tavi? Team Thailand.
Team Thailand, indeed. I mean, that is just incredible from Xtap. I feel like CatJam did take a couple of stumbles, like give away a couple of tags, which perhaps could have been avoided. Perhaps the chases weren't as long as they could have been. Given the 4K3 result, of course, something would. He does have a YouTube channel, does the David King Mr. Strack there, and there's that one video which I found very funny with Bulba in it, and now I actually get to see him in action. So let's see again, as I was saying before, maybe we could see the retired old hands make a bit of a comeback, because last time I said those very similar words in the tournament. Number 1, Gunther got a little bit annoyed at me. But number 2, Gunther still performed extremely well. So maybe Bulba can do the same thing, pull a rabbit out of the hat and get a 4K3 to tie things up.
He hasn't played Killer in 2 to 3 years. This is going to be absolutely crazy. I mean, I don't really know what to expect. Has he been in the Scrim Laboratory? Does he even still play Dead by Daylight like that? But you know what? They say basically muscle memory exists. And if that is true, maybe we'll see something spur out of the hat here. But Bulba, you have to get a 4K4. There's no light way to put it. There's no bullshit. You just have to go in, slug everyone, make sure they're down. Bro, I don't even know what to do on especially in terms of Demagogue. And I mean, with the Survivor team as high of a caliber as this, I just don't see what could really go right here. But you know what? I want to be proven wrong. I mean, he was memeing the fact that He's memeing the fact that, oh, I'll play killer, you know, I'll put me on the killer. We put Bulba on the killer, and I always thought it was just, you know, him talking shit, but he's here. He's on the killer, so that's absolutely crazy. But I've been notified by my ref that the line is the muscle don't forget. And that is the line that I was trying to remember. And you know what? If it's true, then there you go. I mean, this will be evidence of that. But I mean, on the side of our survivors, we have Frozen, Alexandre, Stract, and Gastrix. Team Thailand, as we've been calling them for the past couple of days now. As it is still Source, but like majority of these players are on Team Thailand, if not all. So be quite interesting, I think. And I've been saying interesting a lot tonight, but yeah, this is definitely interesting. Now, retired old man loading in. I still can't believe I'm casting over Bulba gameplay. This is okay. He's loading in, and now he's all the way over at 12. So we're prepping the shred. No portal placed down just yet. Prepping up the shreds and getting used to the mechanics just a little bit. He's like, oh, I feel primed. I remember what this is like back in my day, youngsters. No, never mind. But we are going to be taking chase onto Stract maybe over at the shack here, but opting to drop and go all the way down to deep 6 and try to catch someone else off guard. Now, I think this is exactly where this survivor would want to be chased, as there is a dumpster fill all the way down to deep 6 here, which we're going to be playing very nicely on the side of Frozen. Going to be prepping the shred and just missing Frozen, unfortunately, now going into the bumping into the pallet there on the side of Bulba. And Frozen now just going to be faking, leaving, and slapping wood in front of the man's face. That's absolutely crazy unasked, like I'd said in that Dr. set one time that Chief clipped. But nevertheless, we are going to be making distance on the side of Frozen all the way down to shallow 6 from deep 6. And we're already having a little bit of strife not being able to get a tag early on in this game, and we're just missing the shred, unfortunately. A little bit of lag on our side as the spectators, and we're really getting a little bit antsy here on the side of Bulba, not being able to get this tag nice and early as we would have wanted. And we've left entirely on the side of Frozen. We've broken away so far, and we've completely lost track of where he went. He went back into deep 6, and now the nod is coming in from the retired old man, going in and out of these 4 walls here. And it's just going to allow Frozen to keep on playing. We're going to fake the shred, but our Vault is going to be able to make us skate away from not being tagged, but we haven't opted to go for the Vault. We've opted to go around the Vault, and resulted in a tag. So now we're going to be taking chase all the way down to Shack, which this is just going to be a fat pre-drop like we had said in the Spirit game, Darvian. And we're going all the way back down to 11, and with one generator popping in the background, and I'm scared of how long that generator took to get done. And number 3's coming in any second now. 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. 3 generators done in the span of what seems to be 2 minutes into the trial. This chase going onto Frozen. He's going absolutely crazy, and we're missing it on the side of Bulba, but that is our win con achieved. And that is GG. It is Source taking away this set. Little bit later than expected due to some unfortunate circumstances, but it's there nevertheless. Well played to both teams in particular. I mean, they all played sensationally well. But the Source obviously proving to be a little bit too strong for OCE on the day. So retired old man going to be continuing on this chase onto Frozen. My God, buddy, you just have to drop this. I can't lie, but we're really owned in on getting this tunnel out on the side of Bulba. I can only imagine what he's saying in the VC right now, but we're going to be getting this down just before the hee-hee-ha-ha title.
Oh,
no, there's no way. He had me guessing for a bit, but with like head first into the wall, bro, I just don't see a way that was possible.
I say the name and he responds with the call as Strack takes the tag. Now, beautiful stuff here from Source. That was what I was saying before, Hunter. If you remember, just at the start of my predictions of the of the Demogorgon set, if any of you recall out there too, chat, I was saying don't chase 2 survivors. The 2 survivors you should not chase here. And as it turns out that the survivor that was chased was one of those 2 survivors who looped him for around 2.5 to 3 minutes, which is an incredible amount of time on the Wrecker's Yard. Anyway, Strack's the next one in chase, and funnily enough, we're talking about people whom you shouldn't chase, and Strack is also here. So, so yeah, I guess Bulba's just gonna take a little bit of a timeout and just trying to reset. Actually, Strack got in the locker. He got to lock him with the head on, and Bulma did not notice the quick and quiet or slow roll. As another detonator does pop in the background. Shaq drops the pallet, and this does continue on. So, yeah, well played to Source. I think that was a pretty convincing victory here.
The
Oh my god, the
no,
pub
no,
Juka.
no,
Oh my god, Shaq. Don't do it to him, Shaq. Don't do it to him.
Papa, no.
That is beautiful gameplay from Shaq. That's what he's here for. He's here to put on a show for everybody. It's beautiful to watch. I love seeing it, honestly. And he's gonna get hit through the window, unfortunately. With that, Bulba's gonna give a bit of a friendly little WS. Alexander's actually gonna get the flashlight save too, and is just gonna go for this one-stage performance. Holy balls!
I got a
And
stage.
look at this,
I got a
Alexander's
stage.
body blocking. He got a stage, yeah, he got a stage.
He got a stage.
That's good
He got a
enough.
stage. That's the
That's
win in my book. That's the win.
Wait, hold on. Is this more than a stage? Bulba's trying to get an angle. He gets an angle through. And the FTP comes through. Alexandre, he needs to swing.
Wait, but nah!
Oh, whoa.
Nah!
And Gastrix gives him the down for this. He could have taken the 4 stage, but I think he's understanding the sportsmanship of Source, and Jack is just standing there looking on. Like, what the hell is going on? But Bulba doesn't care. He wants revenge for that flashlight save hunter. He wants to go after that man, Alexandre, and it seems like his dreams are going to come true. He gets a chase onto Alexandre. I think Alexandre took a bit of a slow roll. Is that another? Oh my god. I don't know, man. This is such a goof chase coming through. But hey, at least we're all having fun here in this final set. It's really great to watch, you know. Like, the players could really do this whenever they want. This is what Dead by Daylight could be on a competitive, well, not on the competitive level, but this is like what pubs could be. Maybe this is what pubs is. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
It's DBD ranked. It's DBD ranked. That's what it is. It's queued up as killer, but oh, not the no. What the fuck is this? No. I'm watching a pub game.
One stage performance by Bulba. He takes it away for
Fully
CatJam.
one stage. I got robbed with the Mori. Oh, okay. I think I'm done. I think we're all done here. All right, let's wrap things up. That was something to see. I actually can't see out of my eyes. I've been laughing and crying that hard. I can't lie, but all right. So we'll be back again tomorrow. With like five series for Saturday and Sunday. So a big packed weekend. Enjoy these while they last, because next week's our last one. Where after that we head into the finals, the single elimination finals, and that'll cut the matches in half automatically. So there'll be 6 series instead of 12. And you know, you'll miss it when it's gone. Put it that way. But nevertheless, we'll be seeing you tomorrow. Stay safe if you are out. Thank you for joining us tonight to witness these games. They've been quite something to cast, definitely. And thank you for being here and casting with me, Tavi. Thank you to the staff. We may raid out, and if we raid out, make sure to show that person some love. We don't really know who we're going to raid out to just yet. But like always, take it easy. We'll be right back with tomorrow.